He could convey it because he lived it.
Who are you here to visit, sir?
Father Stick.
You and everybody else. When it came to my weight, I was told to eat less and just move more.
But the weight always came back. That's because there's a science to obesity.
And adding Saxenda to my weight loss plan can help.
Saxenda should not be used with other GLP-1 receptor agonist medicines. Saxenda should not be used during pregnancy. Do not share needles or pens. Do not reuse needles. Do not take Saxenda if you have a personal or family history of medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Saxenda. Stop taking Saxenda and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, itching, rash, trouble breathing, or swelling of your face or throat. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Adults taking Saxenda with type 2 diabetes medicines such as sulfonylureas or insulin may have increased risk of low blood sugar. Children 12 years and older without
jump in my reserve. Make a public Bugatti reserve. Scatter the boat on the beyond repair. Let the bottom make my heart a cheap level. So get on me, so call. Man, don't be acting like bluffer. You're saying no, say I can't talk. Man, girl, go and freak.
All right, let me get this going. Let me share this. Oh man. Shake it.
Rock for big papa, one for big papa now. Shaku shaku for big papa, yeah. Shake for big papa, that for big papa, para for big papa, yeah. Make it clap. You got me singing like hallelujah, don't stop. I want amen, hallelujah, sharp. I won't be a fool. I let my go lolo. My just do man do. She want me to spend me on it. Get on it. One up on it. She know I got it. Do shake. My way feeling your head. Rock you, shake you. My lady beto. Rock for big papa.
Dude, I just sent it. I'm sending it again. Right. I'm sending the thing to you. Right you? What's up, y'all? Let's share the link, please. Let's get this going. This is your boy. No, it's not a repeat. This is live. This is actually live. So this is actually live, babe. It's actually live. This is actually live. So let's go ahead and share it.
you scream my name. I never go down on one knee. You forced to see me in your dream. We beat it at the only bill. They wanna sound around the bill. I saw you there, man. Stop. Sorry for what become a woman, I'm gonna get that. The wood is a man, I'm an ID. Like a chicken made a dream, don't say I come straight from the west side. Can't go and talk on TV, I put the pressure. But how you bluffing, let her say it's something special. Like, oh my god, but she funny enough for the strap on. For 2 months, dry up to tomato ketchup. One shot in or full, I ain't really catching the tear. They can get shiny like inside, I see myself. She say my baby, she telling me, say she's scared. I give you a chance, baby, you can step by a chef. Love for me, let's go eat now. So I say, baby, let's get down. When you swallow, I will face it. Make it to splash water. I make it to do flapper.
What's up, my people? I'm just here to have a quick conversation. Let's go. This is your boy Duke. I hope everybody having a great day today. So, this is your boy Duke. All right, let me load the music out there. Well, I don't need to go. All right. So good afternoon, people. It's been a minute since I did a day podcast. So I usually do the Facebook Live thing at night, right? And and that's about it. That's what I normally do. I do the Facebook Live thing, in the night and all the other stuff. But anyway, it's great to actually be able to hop on here today and talk. So that's what I'm about to do. Have a regular conversation, chat about a few things that are currently happening. So while you're here, do me a favor, okay? Please share the link. Share it in your feed, anywhere else, because the more shares that you put in, it gets the video in front of people who need to listening to this, right? And the whole intent, the whole purpose of why we do this is to at least, give other people a different perspective in terms of happenings in Liberia. And who knows, perhaps one person or how many people may walk upon this, stumble across this live video, and then learn something new. And that alone could possibly create some level of change. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let me, put some music on while I'm waiting to have a conversation here. Yeah, man. Thank you, Lemieux. Shout out. That's it, please. All right, let's go. It's my boy Buck. Shout out Bucky Raw. That's my nigga right there. Yo, sorry, I shouldn't sit down where I done. Actually, my bad. I don't know where that came from today, but anyways. That's my boy. Shout out Bucky Raw. Girl. Let's go, man. Let's go, man. I gotta get the wordings or something. I gotta get the wordings. Yeah, man. Today's a good day, my people. Let me tell y'all why shortly. Girl, you me on. Yo, I'm seeing a video. Let me put this in time to have a conversation here, yo. Let me put this in. All right. So listen, y'all, thank you for following, sharing the video. If you're here, do me a favor, please share the video, share it in your feed, bring other people on, tag other people on the video as well, because that's the only way we're able to get it in front of people who will watch this later on or whenever they do watch it, to be able to hear the things that we're saying. But I was laughing at this video. This is so hilarious, man. And yo, Classic D is a funny dude, though. This dude is hilarious, man. This dude's funny. But anyway, on topic. So, listen, I figured out that today, is a good day. Weather's looking nice outside. Well, it actually feels good outside, and I have a little bit of time off today. So I said, you know what? Let me just join the team here and just have a conversation today. So that's what this is about: a quick chat, a little conversation. Hoping we can all be able to discuss something here. So, all right. So what motivated me to get on here to have this quick chat? Guess what? So for the past months or year, whatever, we've been hearing about this invisible park or whatever the hell it is. And, for me, sometimes I just don't like to just get in the thick of things and start talking about these things, because when I feel that things are unimportant and I don't try to, discuss those things because I believe it's a waste of my time, right? But I think we're at a point now wherein it's necessary to have that conversation. It's necessary to talk about it. It's necessary to, to say the truth, our truth, of course, and hopefully people can actually understand the context in which we speak. So, on that note, let me go ahead and actually bring this up. So, um, from the onset of this week, actually from last week, we have been hearing about this official dedication of a so-called Invincible Park. And apparently, um, and I know the area because I think going up towards the Oro area, past by Vermont, there used to be a soccer pitch closer to the airfield, James Springfield. Correct me if I'm wrong. That on Saturday and I think Sunday mornings, you have people playing soccer right around that area, right? And there was a market across from there. I believe that's the same area. And if I'm wrong, just let me know. And first and foremost, I also understand the significant ties of that area to the career of George Weah. And as I've always stated, that when it comes to the issue of football, that's another case, and you can't deny the man for the level of excellence that he brought on the soccer pitch. And that's not something that we're going to question, and that it has never been right part of our discussions in terms of we may have said something to challenge the records and what have you, scoring an international appearance. But with that being said, this is somebody who did right his best when it comes to soccer and whatever it is. So that particular part is given to him. So I understand the significance of why he would want something like that to be, celebrated, because it's got some level of ties to his entire professional soccer career. Now, notwithstanding, we also have the right to be able to look at it from a more objective standpoint and a detailed standpoint, and then provide checks and balances when necessary. So here is it. So for me, I don't really care about other people's opinions. I don't care about who thinks that my decision to oppose, or to say something contrary to what everybody's saying, or some people who want to put this whole nonsense out there about appreciating a park and all of that damn thing. I don't really care about those, because they're unimportant to me. And I know my mind's processing a different way, and I can't imagine where the decisions that I make is going to be based upon what other people's perceptions will be per a particular subject matter. That's not how I operate, and that's not how I intend to move forward anything in my own personal life. But so this morning I've had enough of the stuff, and so I wrote a post. And that post, I talk about the whole betrayal of Judas Iscariot, and then Liberians. And I also made reference to the whole park situation, that how Liberians are struggling. There's not anything that's happened in terms of economic shifts, but yet and still, we see people out there today on Good Friday beating Judas, because they said Judas betrayed Jesus. And I said, should that anger be redirected at individuals who are in public office, including the president of Liberia, people in government, and some people who are using the airways to mislead the Liberian people? And I think that I know for a fact that I was right, because we have to levitate from this state of being blind worshippers, from this state of being individuals who would just follow people because we think that we need to follow people, or praise somebody because we think we want to sound, balanced about certain things, right? And just basing the way in which our response to a particular issue because we think that we need to give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that's the right way to proceed. Before I go forward, let me say this to some of you. I know some of you try so hard because you want to be the ones that can appear in front of other people, make yourselves appear as if you are a balanced person. Or, I like this guy, even though you're in the opposition, he's a mature individual, right? I don't subscribe to that bullshit. I really don't. And the reason why is that, look, we're different people. I don't care how you want to make yourself appear to other people, to say certain things because you want people to think that you're a balanced person, you're a mature person. I don't give a damn about that. Look, my entire life and engagement on social media, it is never about other people's perception of me. If that was the case, I would not even be here. I have accepted that when we're in this particular arena, people will have everything to say. And regardless of where you lean, people will always have things to say. But there is some level of validity, there's some level of truthfulness to you. I don't care if you make a bad decision. I don't care what it is you've done. Once you're confident in yourself and you've reached the point where you said that, you know what, it is my decision, I stick to it. And if even you've erred in the process, if you look at it and say, I made a mistake, but you stay by whatever you've done and you better yourself and you focus on redirecting that chapter, that's all that matters. So here's why I believe that the entire, park situation with the George Weah and the CDC people does not make any sense. All right. And before I go through that, there's some things that I would like to bring into the picture that I want to use as reference points, right? For this particular conversation. So, here are those things. All right. So, years ago, I was fortunate enough to be in Liberia when the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the likes of Adrian Maria Huff, the likes of Andrew Melvin Snow, including the George Weah and all of those people that were attached to the Lone Star. After a year of constructing the Antoinette Tubman Stadium, they officially opened it for access to the general public. I think it was one of, let me not just use that. Like, let's say that when they decided to open ATS for the general public to access that day, there was scores of people all over Monrovia, the Broad Street area, around that entire the place. People were literally standing in line to go into ATS because it was this new place since the Samuel Kando Sports Complex, right? And ATS was this dusty area. It was not up to par, right? And so this new and improved ATS, every Liberian wanted to get an experience of a good-looking stadium, right? Because they have not seen that kind of development, right? And people just wanted to celebrate something. And so there were multiple people, thousands of people in the streets of Monrovia lining up to enter ATS because they wanted to get an experience of the new sports stadium. And then some people will go on radio, they will criticize, they will say things and stuff, right? And some people just, at that time, did not understand where those people who were criticizing the whole thing about ATS were coming from. So people celebrated. High school games were played on ATS after it was open. The pitch, the turf, I think it was the first time that they used that kind of turf in Liberia, right? The sittings were nice. The place was beautiful. ATS transformed from this, area that was all dusted and ragged looking to now a multi-million dollars investment. And, the FIFA Gold Project, the money that was actually allocated to that sports stadium, they did not even use everything to do the full renovation of the ATS and bring it up to the way that it was actually meant to be. They blew that money out. But I use ATS as a reference because this was the same way many of these people were passing around and jubilating about the renovation of the ATS. And then years later, we're looking at, we're in the 21st century now, right? We're in 2020 something, right? 2022. And we are now at a point where people are now rejoicing because George Weah and his government constructed a park in an area that he believes has got some kind of significant ties to his soccer career. But this is a shame. This is an embarrassment. And for me, I've actually given up on this government a long time ago. The moment CDC won the election and George Weah became president, we already knew. I knew for a fact that George Weah was going to be a terrible president. There's no secret. I knew for a fact that CDC was not going to do the things that they said were going to do it. In addition, I thought that the Liberian people were making a great mistake and it was going to come back to haunt them. We have been right. We have been right. Even some people now will claim that George Weah is this, that, the rest of it, but supported him and I denied they supported him, right? We said this. We knew. We knew. And every day, Weah remains in power. It confirms everything that we taught about this man and the CDC, that these people do not get it. Let me be a little practical here for you. So let's look at the entire process. So it probably took millions to construct that part. CDCians are running around, or some people are running around saying, you know what? Oh, why this man not a good president? But it's a kind gesture. Okay. Other people say, oh, that's somewhere for the children to play. Okay. But when you sit and look at it, you have to think for a second. What are the most pressing issues in Liberia right now? Priorities. How does the construction, right? This construction of a park, how is it going to economically change the situation in Liberia? Mind you, 5 million people, about pretty close to 90-something% of that 5 million are in a bad state economically. So we construct a park. We say that we're going with all the fanfare. And mind you, another thing to take into consideration, imagine when you invite guests to the dedication of a park, you are shouldering the responsibilities. Those people are not coming in free just to grace the occasion. Just because these guys were watching people that made money for themselves, don't mean that they go around just spending it because it's costly, especially if it's not in the schedule. So when you're inviting them, you have to cover the expenses. If a DJ Drogba shows up, you're paying for it. If an Austin JJ coach has shown up, you're paying for it. You're paying for transportation, hotel accommodations. You're paying for security, food, and you're even giving those people stipend, monies for showing up. Some level of package for the visits. It's not free. It's not free. Priorities. So let's say that after you're done with the so-called dedication of this park and all the money you've invested into it, how does it economically benefit the country? And the over 5 million Liberians who are yearning for change in Liberia, this is what we need to look at. This is what we need to honestly look at. We need to start thinking, not based upon our political ties and all of the BS. We have to start thinking objectively. When you go and you construct a park, when you pour all of the monies into the fanfare, how does it create any shift economically for the ordinary people? So then yesterday, I saw them running around social media with a video. And that video was, they had this lady, this woman, and we were saying that, oh, this area here, it used to be poo-poo players, and blah, blah, blah. He converted. Those are all campaign talk, by the way. And they started blasting that thing on social media, blasting it, so people can buy into it and say, oh, you know what? The man, Weah is changing things. She's doing this, that, the rest of it. How does it create any kind of economic shift when it comes to the people of Liberia? That's the question we should be asking. You got a president since, look, Liberians did not elect George Weah because they think that he was going to build a park that isn't going to create any kind of economic solutions for him or for the entire country. Because if you were just electing this man because you thought that he was going to go and construct a park and he was going to go there and actually, have all of these small projects all over the place with zero economic impact, then there was no point in electing George Weah as president. Right? But the only reason why you see them running around and celebrating this stuff, because they're embarrassed. They really are embarrassed. They really are embarrassed. So why does it not make sense? Could that money have been used to other things that were more important? How is this? Look, so after you dedicate this place, you open it up, what happens next? Because there are still pretty close to 5 million people who do not have jobs in that country, who are going through the same economic hardships. And listening, last night I heard at JFK, there were patients who lost their lives because JFK, right? JFK, not a private entity, a government hospital, went out of electricity while these people were operating. Patients, Liberians. And you only think for a second, like, okay, so how do you celebrate something like this? How? How could you celebrate something like this when you have the core of your society? It's completely falling apart. Did you really elect George Weah to build sport parks while your people are dying? Is this what you sign up for? I'm really trying to understand the logic in all of this. I am really trying to understand the concept behind all of these things. Because sometimes when I think about people, sometimes when I think about Liberians, when I think about some of the things that we allow in our country, I wondered, what have we done to offend God? Seriously speaking, what have we done? You hear me? What have we done to offend God? What have we done? It really baffles me. What have we done to offend God? If George Weah wanted to do something like that, to, in his so-called legacy, this man here say he would conquer the world, he made millions. I mean, that could have been a private initiative for him when he had the money. When he, was a soccer player. That would have been a different case. But you're using taxpayers' money with no sense of responsibility and building up structures that's got zero economic impact. And some of you are running across the place and trying to celebrate. What exactly are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? So, what are the trade-offs? Do you know what you've traded? You've given up in exchange for poor governance, corruption. The man's corrupt. The government's corrupt. They steal from you. You sacrifice the future of your children, your fellow Liberians. People are losing their lives because of poor governance in that country. But some of you don't care. You're just only about worshiping and only following this man and his doctrine because in your twisted minds, in your little sick minds, you think this is all it is about. Greed, being selfish. What are we celebrating? I'm really trying to figure out, what exactly are you people celebrating? I'm confused. What's there to celebrate? And you see stupid people, and you see, look, let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, look, some of us are not doing this here because I need damn popularity. I'm good with myself. People know me. Some of us don't engage in politics and talk about these issues that are impacting our people because we want some kind of financial value out of it. I don't give a damn about those things. Some of us are not speaking, about these things and all the nonsense that are happening in the country because we think that we want to show ties and we want to be friendly. One of the worst things that you can do, and I see that happening with a lot of our people, We want to be politically correct. Oh, we need to be a responsible opposition. Why I don't let it, man? But it's commendable because we want to appear as if we want to be likable to other people. And you got to watch out, Liberians. Because some of the people who pretend today that they care about these issues, they're not really. They're building their own platform. They're building themselves because they see something of financial value. Some of them want a political career in the future. So they got to play in the middle. They know what they're doing. You see, I don't need any kind of political career in Liberia. I've told people, I don't intend to run for any damn office in Liberia. If I wanted to run for office, anything, if I want to become politically active wherein I am actually running for office, it will be in the United States, not Liberia. So I don't intend to run for office in Liberia or be part of any political fronts and do all the stuff. No, at least that's not my conversation. But a lot of people do these things not because they care about the things that are happening to our people. They do it because they are building a political platform for themselves. So that's why they can't take a stance on issues. And when I say stance, they will never go 100% into the decisions. They will always want to play in the middle politics. Bunch of foolish hypocrites. They pretend, live on a pretense, want to be accepted by every side. Those are the people you have to be very mindful of. Because, look, let me tell you something. This thing is pretty simple. Absolutely simple. Commendable? Commendable for what? What exactly is commendable about building the damn park? I mean, I really want to know. What is freaking commendable? How do I commend a man that continues to torture the Liberian people? How can you commend something when these people have recklessly led the country? You've stolen money from the Liberian people. How can you commend something today knowing that there were people, Liberians, who died in JFK yesterday? I mean, how can you absolutely commend people who have orchestrated the murders of other Liberians? And then we want justice. We want change. I mean, y'all think about it though. We want to see change in Liberia. Some of them. You want to prosecute people. You want to hold people accountable. But then we commend the same criminals who have orchestrated the demise of the Liberian people. Y'all ain't see something wrong with that? Y'all don't see something wrong with it? I want you guys to think. How can all of us or people claim to want justice for Liberians, but then openly commend the efforts of people who have orchestrated economic crimes against the people of Liberia? I'm confused though. I'm really confused. Liberians, be mindful of the people who give you information. I tell people all the time, you can say Duke Ruga, you can say do all of this, okay. But one thing I respect about myself, I have integrity. I would never compromise my values just because I support people. And people look at it, even though we support Mr. Cummings and the ANC, how many times have you heard me saying stuff? I was vocal against Chairman Yetin when I saw that money that was taken from Congress. I said it. I mean, from the Senate. We still criticize people. We still criticize people. Jeba, you don't know me. Just keep quiet. I don't need to go Liberia. I don't. So I don't know where you come from. You need to go Liberia. No, that's not a qualifier for me to speak on issues. Going Liberia does not, that's not a qualifier for me to be able to speak on issues. Let's stop being dumb. I don't want to say anything to somebody here. It's not a qualifier. I know Liberia. There's not an urgency because I know the country. There's nothing different you tell me about Liberia. I know Liberia. I went through the civil wars in Liberia. I don't need to do anything to prove something to anybody. I've been through the dark days of Liberia. So I don't need to prove anything. So we'll speak. So you cannot be for justice and commend the efforts of people who are criminals. You can be half-stepping. You got to be all into it. And it's not saying that you're not being political mature. What the hell is political maturity anyways? So should we be politically mature on the issues of justice, wherein we look at people who are violators of our people and all the things that say, you know what, oh yeah, but we need to be controlled. Damn fool. Nobody's got to do that. But again, it's left for the Liberian people to pay attention. Not everybody who talk in your interest are really about the issue from a full perspective. Some people have political ambitions in the future. And so they have to play in the middle politics to appease both sides. I am not trying to love me for who I am. Love me for the stance I take on issues because the genuine stance. And we'll make mistakes. It's not just about making mistakes, it's about realizing where you make mistakes and admitting to it, but not continuing to support the people who have actually been part of the problem. So just because I support you before and you get that you start doing wrong, does that mean I have to live supporting you even while you're being a failure? The fact that I can speak against you says a lot. And that's where we need to come as a society. So back to the whole we are part thing. How is this thing economically impactful for the Liberian people? It is not. It is not. Just the money alone to launch that park, to dedicate the park and open it today. Could that money have been used to address other areas? Is it possible the funds could have been used at JFK to have fuel in the generator and it could have possibly prevented the deaths of Liberians who were seeking treatment at JFK? I want you to think, what are the values? You are somewhere in Monrovia today, in the streets, celebrating the dedication of a park. But just sit and think for a second, what have you traded? When you comment on reckless government, what have you traded? You tell a government that's corrupt, that's responsible for the deaths of Liberians in JFK last night, and you commend them. Indirectly, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. But people want to be seen as politically mature in the minds, they say, to appease the other side. Oh, we can't criticize government or do. Who give a damn? Who cares? The truth stays the truth. I'm not going to commend George Weah, knowing that this man destroyed the country. I'm not going to commend a government that sits there wearing this increase in violence every day. I'm not going to commend the efforts of a government when the mother of a Princess Cooper, if I got the name right, is being jailed by the same government. I can celebrate the efforts and commend the efforts of the government on the part when 89% of our young people are still employed in that country. I can commend the government of Liberia, who isn't even committed to the establishment of the War Crime Squad. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. We can commend the efforts of a government that just does not care about the Liberian people. That is not an issue of political maturity. That's political stupidity. And that's wanting to be accepted by another side of the argument because perhaps people have their own hidden agendas. Ego. And not only that, I see people who say that, we got a government and syndicated, but today they even encourage the same foolishness. If we're going to be about the truth of Liberia, we must be in it 110%. 110%. We must be consistent in discussing the issues of Liberia. What are we celebrating? How is it impactful? How can you celebrate a park when it's not going to create? This is a government that since George Weah took over, they're moving into the final year of the George Weah administration. You tell me how many jobs have been created in that country. But you celebrate the opening of a damn park? And we're supposed to rejoice? We're supposed to commend the efforts of a government for doing the bare minimum and using the monies of taxpayers? The Lord drop in the bucket? So let's look at the overall, the long-term process of it. You create a park. Park costs maintenance. When you go around your neighborhood, you see a park there, and take a look at it. Some of you will know, right? You go around your neighborhoods, and you see parks, you see other places. It costs money. Keep the lights open, to keep the lawns, trimmed, to make sure that it is not dirty. There are a lot of processes that goes into it. So it's part of state budget now. In addition to the state budget, right? If you're in the US. So let's think about Liberia. This is a government that cannot even take care of its own expense. Look, this is the way that we're supposed to be thinking. Not just commending people because we think we should commend them. We need to look at it, and then we wonder, they better play, then no maintenance and stuff. But maintenance costly. Why you think Jefferson called you there catching hard time? That's recurring expense. In the diaspora, when you have parks, recreation area, it goes into the budget. It goes into the budget. That's why these things in America, you see them in certain areas, to say the most, it goes there for the upkeep. In Liberia, you're opening a park. Who gets to follow it to then say, turn it over to a private entity? Some of you got a problem. How many private entities are there in Liberia? Let's take the port. At one point in time, y'all said the airport, they turn it over to a private institution. Look what's happening now. Look what's happening. Whoosh. Every time you create something like that, you're adding to the expense of government. How is the government going to fund these things for the long-term upkeep? They say, they can create money. I say, how? You're not bringing money in. Your budget is still heavily dependent on foreign aid. Meaning you're begging people to give you money to run the operations of your government. And even some of those things that are within the budget, education and stuff, they don't even get the kind of money because look at JFK, medical health care, for instance. JFK is in the budget. How much money JFK had the kind of money you think will be struggling with power issues? Our key sectors are not functioning, key areas are not functioning because the government is not pouring money into them. The budget's tight. You're depending on donors, international partners to fund you. You're not doing anything to create any economic shift. This is why you don't celebrate the foolishness. And we talk about the cycle of mediocrity. It's a repeat. And then 1 month, 2 months, 3 months from now, when pictures start flooding on the internet or trash all over the park, someone say, that is Cindy will say, we talk about me. No. Don't come back again because you guys sat on there and you encouraged this nonsense. You encouraged it. It was just the other day, you're on social media celebrating street lights. What happened to the lights? How often people drive through Monrovia and they take videos of those lights and they're completely dead? What happened to them? In the moment, people, and we're not thinking. So you construct a park. Who's going to fund it? Where are you taking the money from? You don't have the money. That was Liberia reach and stuff. It's different. Liberia is water, but if you're not managing things, you're not creating the kind of growth that's needed to expand. You're not being profitable. Corruptions, everybody's just stealing. That's a problem. It's a problem. So we got to look at these things in details. Responsible spending. Priorities. Everybody know we want to see a beautiful Liberia, decent areas. I get it. And let's say let some people say the argument would be, oh, you know what? People can count as a way. You can put in and charge people a fee. I like when people say that because I just laugh. Okay, you charge people a fee. How many people will really want to go over there that have the money? You charge people the fee. So it goes back to the same group of people having access to places while the ordinary people cannot afford it. If you take an ordinary Liberian to choose between spending $10 US to enter a park versus using that $10 to put food on the table, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to opt for using the money to put food on their table. They're not going to use the $10 to go somewhere or into a park that's not going to give them anything. These are the things who showed us the reason why we don't commend this nonsense. Oh, it's fine. Okay, big deal. It's not George Weah's money. It's the country's money. That's Liberia's money. It is our money, our resources. And as responsible citizens, everybody should be smart enough to hold their government accountable. We are strong, greatest president. How can you be a great president when economically speaking, your economy is the worst it has been? Even Charles Taylor's economy was way better than George Weah's economy. That's not how you define greatness. Greatness isn't mediocrity. Greatness is not economic stagnation. That's not how you define greatness. Greatness is not mediocrity. It is not sitting there and watching other people take the heavy load for you and then going out there and bringing people. You bring all these people here. So what's the big deal? Oh, the other person was here and that person was here, not on TV. And you see that, look, this was the danger of the Weah's presidency. This is why we oppose George Weah. Because the ignorance, our people they already face this challenge of mindset. And then you elect a man who doesn't even have the kind of vision, and people around him who are utterly stupid, clueless. And my people, and you've turned the country. Liberia needed a leadership that inspired people to rise above the circumstances. But instead of electing somebody that would give our people that particular option, we elected a man that continues to promote everything that we've opposed as a country. A president that is mediocre himself. And my people. And now you see it trickling down. I'm listening and hearing it, people. First time ever. Development. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? You're creating a park in a dirty city. You created someone. I mean, what is the economic value of that entire park? So we praise people not just because we're prison. They do the bare minimum. That's how we try to change Liberia now. Oh, we say thank you. Oh, we say thank you. But you know what, though? Upbringing's got a lot to do with how people think. Upbringing, it's got a lot. Your environment, it's got a lot to do with how you think. Some of the people who think that we should glorify this, you got to start looking at them. And then you figure out why to see certain things. When you're used to mediocrity all your life, when you're used to being in situations wherein you don't think excelling is good at all, this is what happens. People who are, part of an environment that does not see progress as something that goes beyond mediocrity will accept the bare minimum because the mind's been programmed. You got to look at the minds of those people and then you will find the problem. We're not just here to commend people. You can't just commend people. You can't. And you'll find somebody, that is yeah. Oh, the never sunny. Real. Let me tell you, I don't know why some of y'all don't get it. Me. I don't do this because I think I want Mr. Cummings win to go seek job in Liberia. I keep telling you, yo, I don't care. People like me speak freely because we don't expect anything in return. I will be okay. My hands are not covered. Hmm? You know how long they try to cuff me? People here who know will tell y'all, I cannot be cuffed. I would not be cuffed by nobody because I need nothing. And I'm being truthful to some of you. I don't care. I don't care. I absolutely do not care. Some of y'all get paid to get on social media to talk. Some of you get on this platform because you receive monies to do it. Some of you use your platform, you take money, and people come to. I don't ask anybody for a dime. I don't care about these things. My voice is not financed for nobody. Some of you, your voices are financed by people. You have to speak a certain way because they guide you. My voice is not going to follow that. I speak the way that I see fit. Because at the end of the day, I know my credibility is on the line. What kind of economic sense? What kind of economic sense? What kind of economic sense does it make? I put my live video on. I expect somebody to come. Sometimes I sit down here very low, 50 people, and people kind of start watching that, they start sharing, more people start coming. Okay? I don't care. And then stupid Randall Thomas. Randall, I don't give a damn what you say. You see, let me address this particular comment. Randall, Duke Stevens, let me tell you this. I don't care what your opinions are. If that's how you call it at your business, I'm not here to fit in society's definition of who I should be. Because some of you who talk about other people, you're the worst. You're the skeleton in your closet is even worse. Okay? You can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care. I say my truth. And if you want to refer about the incident that happened the other day, I was in the right. And I don't give a damn about your opinions. I don't care. You know, there's something you feel liberated when your people's opinion don't have a damn thing to do with you. Can some of you get it? I am happy. The decisions I make, I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with my decisions. I don't care. I absolutely do not care. Right? I don't care about people's opinions. I don't care. Absolutely do not care about people's opinion. Right? Absolutely do not care about people's opinion. Now, let me go back to something. And that's why I go ahead, you come here, you talk rubbish, I block you. Because I don't need you in my conversation. I'm talking to people who are listening. I don't need you in my conversation. I didn't invite you here. I don't want you to listen to what I have to say. Why does somebody ain't get it? Just go. I don't care about opinion. That's why I block you. Go away, right? Anyways, but on a serious note, let me go ahead and try to wrap this thing up here. I got a bunch of writings to do, my people. Yeah, you see, I got a lot of writings to do and stuff, right? So, so there's no economic value attached to the entire George Weah project. Zero economic value. And that's why we say, here we are again. And we've seen this. This is not the first time we saw it with light. They started with Feeder Road. What did they start for? They went into Doe community, right? Doe community story finished today. Election coming now, they bring everything out. Projects. But we'll continue to speak the truth about these issues. And look, whether Liberian buy it, I want out of business. I know after 2023, the guy will be, depending on where the country goes, it's done for somebody. You're not hearing me talking. I was just clown. It will be so good because all I want to do is just clown the Liberian people. Y'all make the wrong decision after 2023. Some of us will be here to laugh. Some of y'all. Some of us will be spoilers for some of you who sat there and you thought you're doing it to other people. That's the role. I want to experience that. I want to play the role of spoiler for other people. Where I'm not touching anybody, I yet talk rubbish all day and just undermine you. You understand me? But no, so let's go ahead and something. So economically, there's no value. The more people pour in that country, Truthfully speaking, how many Liberians will even experience going into that park? And if even they went into that park, how does it change their lives? In the parks, you know what the idea behind parks? A lot of these things, not only just for people to play, but sports program. In America, there's a system in place. All of those parks, right? Besides having playgrounds and areas for people for children to access and stuff, some of those parks, let me tell you here today, right? Those parks are created because the different programs, youth program, basketball, football, everything. So these children here in the state, they travel to different areas and stuff, and they play the tournaments in different parks and stuff. And there's monies that go into it because the AAU fees that you pay for your child to be in, AAU programs and stuff, the monies that you pay, some of them go towards the upkeep of the park. So the teams, they're paying the fee to the park and everything. But economically, people can do it here because the society gives people jobs, the resources. People can have money for themselves to do these things. In Liberia, there's economic stagnation, so people cannot spend cash loosely. Okay? How many people can just lose and spend cash like that on a consistent basis now? People can afford it. Okay? People can afford it. Right? So economically speaking, there was no sense for this entire part. But then there's the ignorance of the Liberian people again. Sadly speaking, we're falling for the same thing, and we've been there with the whole drama. And watch, it will go away now. After a couple of weeks, the park thing will die down. And I bet it wouldn't even take a month or two. You will see stories and videos about that park all over here now with trash and dirt, and the same people complaining. Watch what I tell you, it will happen again. And I even need to predict it because I know you already know what's going to happen. Because we don't prioritize, we don't have the structure, and it goes back to the foundation. We're not funding ourselves as a government. We're relying our budget, running our country depends on international community. So the budget's tight. And because it's tight, we're not bringing in revenue like that. How do you continue to expand the budget when you don't have a revenue? So let me teach you personal finance here. If you have a monthly income of, $5,000, right? You have a monthly income of $5,000. Let's just put it this way here, right? You have a monthly income of $5,000, right? So you have a monthly income of $5,000, and then suddenly speaking, right? All your bills, by the time you put in your bills together, you're probably left with about $500 for your own upkeep. Then you run outside and then you walk to a store and you see there's a nice little lawn that you want to buy. And the total price of this lawn is going to be $3,000. When you average off the monthly payment of the lawn, it takes from that $500 that you have, right? Probably comes to like $300 a month or so, just ballpark figure. So then you're left with $200 to yourself. Then you go somewhere, you find something, and you pick up something else that's going to cost you more, and it ends up being monthly probably $700 that you're running in the negative. You don't have sufficient cash flow. You don't have money to work as a government. And you're taking something like a park that's got recurring expenses. Now it's got to be added into the budget for the upkeep. So when you don't have the money to be directed at those things, right, then you run the risk of actually building another thing that's going to sit there. Same thing with ATS today. FIFA pour money in to the GOAT project. After that, go to ATS. Is ATS the way that FIFA initially left it? No. And I'm praying a couple of years is going to completely go out of whatever it is because the upkeep is not there. And you build something like that around a poor neighborhood. And these people are poor. You build a mansion in the midst poverty and stuff. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going with this? Where do you think you're going with this? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So it was all rubbish. We will be back here again. We'll say the same thing, but it's going to be left with the Liberian people to decide what they should be doing to change their country. I'm not here to stop talking the way that I talk down there to appease certain people. I don't care. Some of you can say everything you say. I don't give a damn. I'm fine. The moment I leave from here, I go sit down, I do my little thing and stuff down there. I'm okay. I don't care about your opinions. I really do not care about your opinions. I really don't. The only thing that matters is that I have the courage. I'm courageous enough to speak on issues, to educate our people, to talk about all of the things that are necessary that I believe somebody can learn from. You know, once one person listening to the podcast that we do and they're able to change their life, they can be transformed from that. That's all that matters for me. That's all that matters for me. Right? So we're going down this line again. Celebrate all you want. Talk about the park all you want. All that development all you want. But the truth here, my people, we're going into the final year. We're in the final year of the George Weah presidency, going to election. Is this the change that George Weah and Seditians promised Liberians? No job. JFK running out of current in the midst of Operation Liberian losing their life every day. The whole country dirty. Government employees not taking pay on time. You're running the country like a susu club. Now you community chairman are wearing things, you go around, you're donating all over the freaking place with no economic impact. But yet and still you say that this is development. How is it development? You know, how is it development? How is it development? How is it development when about 89% of these young people are unemployed still in that country? I really want to know. How? Is this what you settled for? Is this how Liberia rise again? Is this your definition of Liberia will rise again? Because this is not how the country is lifted from poverty. You don't lift a country out of poverty by dedicating a park, while about 80-90% of your people are unemployed in that country. No economic growth. Since we have become president of the Republic of Liberia, there's never been any positive economic gains in that country. Hey, Wilfred. Hey, Ruvia. I'm telling you, since we have become president, see the thing you don't think about, the man who president, his government, there's not been any economic gain on the way. So we've run economic regression. This government's been in the red since George Weah became president of the Republic of Liberia. My people, there's something wrong. There's something wrong, people. We shouldn't joke with this. It is wrong. It is wrong. Let me leave y'all with this here quickly. You gotta go enjoy the nice weather. When you have the time, I want you to find this book. If you're not the person who likes to, read the dry pages of a book, go and find this app on Amazon, and it's called Audible. When you find this app, Audible, I want you to check for the book
Dominantly born
called
by
The Bottom Billions, and it's by Paul Collier. Take a time. If you have your family, if you have your spouse, your significant other, if you really want to understand some of the things that are happening in Liberia, right? I want you to listen to that book, The Bottom Billions. And when you get to reading that book, not only would you understand Liberia's problem, but then you will understand that where we're heading, if it continues, Liberia is poised for another civil war. I'm telling you, where we're heading, down this path, the same nonchalant attitude, Liberia is poised for another civil war. Countries like Liberia, who consistently continues to be below the poverty line, will eventually run the risk of sitting in those same problems. Civil wars are recurring common themes associated with poor nations that have not risen beyond the threshold of poverty. Because young people become more vulnerable, and you see the situation with Zocos all over the country. Don't overlook those things. Something about economics, it shows you the dangers. It gives you the warning signs. And all of the things that are attributed to it will tell you that you're heading. 1989, all of the things that we're gradually moving into. Look at the hotspots across the continent. All of these places that face civil war in that country, they continue to run into that situation because of the same reckless leadership, the lack of growth, the lack of economic flexibility, and mediocrity being accepted. And then one side celebrating mediocrity, while the rest of the people continue to be vulnerable. The dangers, the dangers, the dangers that await us, we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, and it's just a matter of time before that volcano erupts in our faces. Then we'll be back here again, shouting for war crimes court, calling for people to be held accountable. But we missed the mark because we should have been preventing those situations by taking actions, being more bold, not encouraging the acts that got us 14 years of civil war. We can't say we're about justice. We can't say we're about accountability. We can't say that we're about certain things and we continue to help people who are against those things that we preach for. That's not how we resuscitate Liberia. We save that country. 89% of our population, the vast majority of Liberians, young people are unemployed in that country. No food, no jobs. We're basking in poverty. From the day we walk, from the time we walk on the car road to into those communities, we see poverty from a closer look. And we celebrate a park today because in our minds, we're so gullible. We sit there and we buy into this thing. We get brainwashed into this thing and we think that it's okay. My people, you have a good deal. After 2023, I'm done with Liberia. And I pray that the Liberian people see ways and Mr. Cummings is elected, but that will be done. Because you know what? At least I will walk with my head up high and I say, you know what? We talked about it. And some of us can move on with our life and do whatever we need to do. I will not talk in Liberian politics. The only time I will talk when I see people who sat here and saw things that could change that country and they didn't act upon it, then I will come to just sabotage those people. But once we're done, we'll lay down our weapons, we'll lay down our, whatever it is, our fighting armor, whatever term, for lack of better words, and we will just watch. Because at some point in time, I don't care how you fight for people. You've got to reach to this point of conclusion and say, you know what? Enough is enough. And maybe something significant needs to happen in Liberia again for these people to learn. Who knows? And I'm hoping it doesn't get to that point. But like I've said, if you look up the bottom billions and you read what Paul Colley has said, you will understand that we're heading in a direction that one of these days, some of us will look at and say, you know what? We made a mistake. We honestly made a mistake. The same way Samuel Doe started, the same way other people started. Charles Taylor time, they felt that they had control of that country. The anti-terrorism unit were violating people. They were beating on people. They were doing everything. They felt like they had control. The likes of Momo Jiba, all of these people. People don't learn from history. Politics will come and go. Power will come and go. But the nation of Liberia remains. When government leaves, what are you left with? The same level of politics and poverty. Y'all have a good day. Y'all go celebrate your part. Me, I ain't celebrating it. And I know a lot of people ain't celebrating it because I know where that will lead to. It's not just about beautifying the city. It's about creating economic flexibility. And some of you just don't get it. But it's okay. Some of us who get it, we'll talk about it. And that's what we're talking today. Y'all have a good day, my people. I tell you, thank you so much. It's pretty hot here, so get my little drink and just sit here and enjoy my weather as well. So I will, Maud. I will call you, and I appreciate all of you. So let me just send shout out to a few people here. Wilford, thank you, Wilford. Um, and I see Nebo. Hey, Doyen, how are you? Thank you for following. And my people, please share the podcast whenever you have a chance. I used to have my main page, Duke, my main Facebook page, and I lost it. So this is a new page for me. I lost a lot of people. So I'm getting back to do these podcasts more frequently. So I will start doing it consistently every Wednesday night, possibly by 8, 9 o'clock p.m. for maybe 1 hour the most. So join me Wednesdays night. Today's just a good time. I'm off. And I'm just sitting here and trying to, the stock market's closed today. Just trying to just enjoy my day and stuff, my son, and go watch him play basketball. Go watch him play basketball as well. So I just thought I needed to talk a little bit. So support us, support what we do. Some of us are only here just to educate people. I could be sitting anywhere now, just doing my thing, and not paying attention to the Liberian politics stuff. But some of us just really want change in our country, And regardless of regardless of where we stand politically, I'm just all about Liberia. I'm just all about Liberia. I don't care about anything. You sit down in the developed part of the country, you see how people are organized, you see how people are living. You see the city, you got to clean your yard and stuff. You got to cut your grass a certain way. When it's high, they come and give you a ticket, They put the trash and everything has to be in a different way. There's trash day and everything. I mean, the place is orderly. Systems, right? They got standards for the communities, and stuff. They got people who drive around neighborhoods to make sure that people are in compliance and everything because they want the areas to be, in a certain way, in a certain ways. They enforce these things. You see people, and you know what? People got the opportunity to do that, to live life, to see progress, to enjoy. But we're in a country we just continue to mess around. Job opportunities everywhere, everywhere. Children are living freely. There's a park next door, nice little park too. My son can get up and go and go play a little basketball with his friends and everything and stuff down there. People can do that. Why can't we do that? Young people, young people my age are excelling, doing things, doing amazing things. This thing should be happening in Liberia. Young people shouldn't be sitting out in front of the houses of lawmakers and public officials and stuff and begging them for dime. I mean, these things need to stop. You need leadership that can change those things. That's what some of us talk. Because when Liberia, people don't understand, when Liberia gets better, then our investments become better too. We can take money and pour it in and go and start business and do certain things. The little money people spend on shoes, you buy your Ferragamos and stuff, you spend, your rare bottoms and stuff, things cost about $800, $1,200, $1,500 and stuff. People got 30 pairs of those things all over the place and stuff. Imagine if Liberia was a conducive place, people cut down on these things. Professional young people can invest in that country. They can drive the economy. They can be willing to go there and do things. But you can't do any of the things. How do you attract professional young people from the diaspora to shift, to create an economic shift? Leadership. And we don't have the leadership. Then you're celebrating parks and you think that's success. And when people talk, you say, oh, they're being hateful for the government. The Cynthia liberal enemies of the state. That's not about hate. It's about the truth, my people. We got to think differently. And I hope Liberians get it. But if they don't, they will run the risk of doing that. I'm sitting and talking to you from the good old South. Years ago, maybe 60 plus years ago or so, I might be wrong. Just imagine a black man could not stand outside like this in the neighborhood. I'm sitting around here in the neighborhood as a black man. Yeah, I'm sitting in the South, the Jim Crow South, as a black man in a neighborhood with a white neighbor next door, police officer. I don't have to drink from a separate fountain. I don't have to be told that I have to live in certain areas. Because Dr. King and other people fought for equality in this country. And even though there are a lot to be done still in America because there's still racism around here, however, they value progress. And they fought that through education. They fought that in through holding the leaders accountable. Not being watchable. That's why they voted out Trump. Because people did not want a reminder of racial inequality and all of the things that were being said. Why have we struggled to get over this particular aspect in Liberia? I just don't understand. Why? Sometimes I just wonder, why? Why is it still a struggle? Why is it still a struggle? Why is it our people just don't get it? Yes. Why? I'm really confused. Hey, my Oma, how are you? Why is it our people just don't get it? Just continue to live in poverty. You just want to be in poverty all the time. You just want to sit there and just be at the bottom all the time. You want to watch your children die. You want to watch your communities broken. I don't understand, my people. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. And people say, well, let's continue to pray. I seen prayers in Liberia. I seen the women sit down by the FU with the same park area that they're building now in the white shirts. I went to my mother's. My mother took me to the Centennial Memorial Pavilion. At the time, she was vice president of Women's in Action for Goodwill. And Evelyn Lopu Kanaka was actually the president at that time. And I knew they had the National Fast and Prayers Day in Liberia, the SKD, the ATS, all of those things. I've seen Liberians pray for peace and stability in that country, but the prayers are not working. The prayers are not working in our country. We get more evil. People, children are getting killed. People are dying in hospitals, but then we celebrate Park, man. Come on. How can we be that evil? How can we? I mean, I just don't understand. How are we so complacent with the level of evil that's in that country? Hey, man. You know, it's not normal, though. The more curse that's happening in that country every day. You jailed the mother of a girl that was slaughtered in the country. Nobody talks about it while she's sitting down in prison. But you go and sit down to dedicate a park with a man who's responsible for that. Something wrong with our people. Yeah. Something wrong with our people, though. Something wrong with the people. And with all that's happening, you want to be campaigners for justice, you want to do all of this, then you support all the people that are wrong. When we're supposed to be talking and excelling today, we're still talking about electing Joseph Boyga as president. Really? And you think you fix that? You think the justice you seek, you get it to the people that who have not given justice before? You think we can change Liberia by going back to the same nonsense that we've done before? Hey, my people, can y'all think? Some of us today, y'all know why we support this man, Mr. Cummings? I'm sitting down here, my own Uncle Joe, I can support in my own family. They kicked me out of the chat room. I have bitter argument with my own family and stuff because they want people conform, subscribe to that nonsense. I'm not going to take it. But at the end of the day, they understand the respect. I'm just saying this. Some of our fights personal battles because of family ties and stuff, but we choose the liberation of Liberia over family ties as well. If some block me on Facebook, I don't care. That's okay. But I'm just saying this. We need to break free from this nonsense. Some of us just want some of you to try. I don't need to go work in Liberia. Nobody trying to write. I'm okay. I'm okay. You know? I'm okay. I really am okay. You know? Still more to go, still ways to thrive, still things to do. I get it. But I'm telling you. You know? Nobody just want to sit down here and go something. Nobody want government job in Liberia. Nobody wants government job. We need to change our mindset. We need to evolve as a country. And some of you are blind. I've stopped even responding to comments from people. You know, a man that hasn't left his town or his community cannot come on social media and tell me what growth is or what progress is. I refuse to argue with that man. Some of you don't know what development is. You don't know what progress. So that's why I don't even listen to you. I don't listen to you. I don't, because you've not experienced the word. You don't see anything. You don't see what I see. My mindset is completely different because I've seen something that you've not seen. I can argue with you. I can waste my time because your mind is still stuck in a regressive state. All you know is just dysfunction. That's why you're complacent with it. You're happy with it because that's all you know. Because that's all you know. But one of these days, I hope some of you see beyond your personal affiliations with people and think about a country like Liberia. We shouldn't be celebrating the dedication of a park when all of the things that happen in the country. We should be equal of race. We need to change that country. And it starts by removing George Weah. He was the greatest footballer on the African continent, I get that. But he has wrecked the country. And we need to move on with Liberia. Y'all have a good day, my people. I appreciate all of you and stuff. I just needed to go off script a little bit. I got stuff to do with my son. I got stuff to do here. So let me get that. Whatever you want to believe, my son, that's your business. Whatever you want to do, that's up to you. I'm not here to argue with you, Tato. Yeah. I'm just here to do what I can do. Make it happen. Oh, let me show you this real quick. So I'm setting up my little studio. I'm about to do the podcasting. Podcasting now a little long. I can't flip my camera, right? All right, but hopefully I can show you. So my box just came. Got my whole setup here. The other one's coming there. I'm about to transform the entire room. It's a little tacky now, so just pardon me here. But this whole room, I'm about to just set it up a little bit for my podcast. So I just wanted to, to bluff a little bit here. So my box came. Oh yeah, and I mess up stuff. Anyways, so Wednesdays, 8 or 9 o'clock, I let people know. Weekly will be on Unapologetic, and we'll be all about talking the issues. So this is my page. Send me an invite. Hit like, share the video, let people see this thing. Today was just a common conversation that we're having, just talking about the whole park situation in Liberia there. So on that note, what did Emma's guy saying? Emma, on that note, my people, I'm about to go have my good time. I appreciate all of you. Y'all have a good day. Mello, when you going out there? Y'all have a good day, people. Thank you.
Yeah,
When you going?
I go now.
What time is it? It's 4? 3:32. So make it 4, but go take a shower first. You already did? What you wearing to go? I would do that till I would check in stuff. Y'all have a good day, my people. Let me kind of go watch my son play basketball a little bit. Now all we ask for here. CJ, help me wipe the floor. I made a mess over there, man. Now I can call my shot here. Y'all have a good day, my people. It's been a pleasure here talking. I got to get off this thing. Okay, I will call right now. Y'all have a good day, my people. Yeah, thank you. Let me kind of call my people then.